Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to This Week in Crypto. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin in the short term and in the long run, because in the short term, it may look like Bitcoin is actually headed downwards a little bit. So I will talk about that one. We're going to talk about the biggest news that happened in the past week, and then I will talk about the price of Binance Smart Chain or the whole Binance Smart Chain, if there's still potential there or not, because it may look like it has already topped off. So I'll talk about if there's still opportunity there or not. And at the end of the video, I will show some altcoins that I think may be undervalued. So I'll talk about those at the end of the video if you want to stick around for that as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin, because it reached $1 trillion market cap. So this is pretty big, because the bigger Bitcoin is, the more likely it is that funds and pension funds and institutions cannot avoid buying it, because people want exposure to Bitcoin, and the larger it is, the more sense it makes for big institutions to have a little bit Bitcoin in their portfolio as well. So this is pretty important that this happened. Next, I want to talk about some of the coins that I talked about last week. So first is UNCX. So this price actually went all the way up to $550. So pretty nice already, but it will be listed on Binance Smart Chain, I think today or tomorrow. Not exactly sure, but when it enters PancakeSwap, I think it may still go up. So all in all, UNCX did pretty well last week, 150% upwards. Then I talked about Mirror. Also, it went up about 50%, even higher if you sold it before today. I still haven't sold any Mirror because I don't want to sell coins that I just talked about recently. So I still have Mirror for now at least. And then I want to talk about quickly the price of CRO. So if you actually held CRO, I want to congratulate you for these massive 200% gains for the last week. I know I made videos that I'm not bullish on CRO myself, and I pretty much stand by those words. I was not expecting them to burn 70% of the total supply. So that's basically what happened 4 hours ago, that they burned almost all of the remaining supply for CRO, and the tokenomics now makes a lot more sense. But the only issue I have with this move is that they say this is for the decentralization's sake, but they have repeatedly said in the past that they are not going to implement burn because many regulators regard burning the same as having equity. So it could be put in the basket where tokens are considered as a security. So this may be a liability for CRO going forwards. Maybe they found some clarity on the regulation side. I don't exactly know. They did not explain this. So I hope Chris Marsalek or the cryptocom can actually talk about this if they found some clarity on the regulation side, so that the investors can be safe about this. And the big thing that may happen here is that the mainnet will launch on 25th of March for CRO mainnet, and they say that DeFi, NFT, and everything, even payments, can run on the CRO mainnet. So if DeFi starts growing in the CRO network, this could still be an opportunity for sure. Personally, I don't really like how they always go back on their words. So they say something, but then they do something completely different. So for me, trust is pretty important, and crypto.com just doesn't have my trust at the moment. So it's a little bit annoying, and I'm sorry that I told you guys that I'm not bullish on it, and now it pumps so hard. But anyways, you always make your own decisions, and just want to congratulate everybody who held this token and had this pump. I personally already sold my CRO, so I was not able to benefit from this jump. But anyway, that's what happened there. Now let's talk about Bitcoin in the short term and some of the bearish stuff that is in the short term. So this is the Bitcoin on all exchanges. So this just means how many people have Bitcoin on exchanges versus basically cold wallets. And you can see that in the last day, 40,000 Bitcoin have been added to exchanges. And usually people want to add a Bitcoin on exchanges if they want to sell it. So this could indicate a local top. So it could happen, it could not happen. We don't really know, but it could indicate a local top. And even if we take a look at the funding rate for Bitcoin on exchanges, what is funding rate? This funding rate is quite elevated. So a funding rate is simply if you want to long Bitcoin on a leverage exchange or a derivative exchange, you always have to either pay funding fee or you will receive a funding fee. And almost always Bitcoin funding fee is positive, but now the funding fee is quite high. So if you want to have a long position on Bitcoin, you have to pay quite a lot of money with different intervals depending on the exchange that you use. You have to pay a funding fee every hour or every 4 hours or every 8 hours, depending where you long Bitcoin. But what this does is it discourages people from opening long positions because they don't want to pay money passively just for having a long position. And also it encourages people to close their open long positions. And it also encourages people to short Bitcoin, because if you short Bitcoin, you will earn passive income from the funding if you just short Bitcoin. So overall, this, whenever it's super high, it could indicate a downturn like it did here as well. And even here, funding had to go down before we were able to continue the bull run here. So overall, funding rate is quite elevated, so it could also indicate a local top. And also, if you take a look at technical analysis, you can see that we had here higher highs, but we all at the same time had lower highs on the momentum indicator here. So this could signal that Bitcoin is headed downwards, and it pretty much already has. So I may have made this video a little bit late, but overall, in the short term, Bitcoin may go downwards or sideways, and from there it may be a good idea to basically buy the dip. Altcoins may have a dip as well, which at least today many altcoins were down, so there may be some opportunities here as well. And as you can see, we're almost oversold levels here on the hourly chart. So a short-term play maybe just to buy back this bounce. Maybe it will go lower here again, and then some consolidation, and then upwards. I haven't really formulated a full analysis for myself yet, but at least in the short term it looks bearish. But in the long run, I think the fundamentals are great, and now I want to talk about that. So for now, 20 hours ago, IRS has said that they have now sent 160 million checks, $1,200 for adults and $500 for children. So the stimulus bills are now on the way for people, and when people get these, usually what the people who don't need it for food and necessities will probably buy Bitcoin and Tesla and some other stuff that they are familiar with, that they want to gamble on the stock market to get an edge for their lives. So I think this is bullish for Bitcoin. Next, Bitcoin. Elon Musk is shilling Bitcoin once again on Twitter. So Peter Schiff, who hates Bitcoin but loves gold, is quoting Elon Musk here, saying that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. So Musk regards both Bitcoin and fiat as BS, and he agrees, and then he shills gold here. But Elon Musk basically has a perfect counter to this, saying that an email saying that you have gold is not the same as having gold. You might as well have crypto, basically owning your own private keys. Money is just data that allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter. That data, like all data, is subject to latency and error. The system will evolve to that which minimizes both. So crypto and Bitcoin, you can have finality in settlement in just a matter of minutes, and it is quite low cost compared to regular methods, especially if you want to transfer money overseas. And it basically has no errors at all, and people can trust it. So for that reason, Elon Musk is bullish for Bitcoin. And then Peter Schiff tried to shill gold here, but it was quite pathetic, to be honest, when I was looking at it. Next, Federal Reserve Bank president is saying that Bitcoin is not a threat to US dollar. And this is great. This just means that there will probably not be negative regulation coming to Bitcoin in the short term at least, or even in the medium term. And if I was part of the Federal Reserve, this is exactly what I would do as well. Because if you take a look at DeFi, you can see that almost all the stable coins that people use are measured in United States dollar. So this is good for the price or utility for United States dollar if they can be on the forefront of this DeFi revolution, and if the United States dollar is still the basically the currency that everything else is measured against. So overall, pretty good for Bitcoin. Pretty good for Bitcoin that United States is not there to ban Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Next, Microstrategy, they are buying more Bitcoin again, so $1.05 billion through the coming weeks, and they have their bot starting to buy from the Coinbase Pro exchange and that's there, more buying for Bitcoin. Next, Canada has approved 2 Bitcoin ETFs, and they already started trading last week. So this is pretty good. And if you take a look at the ETFs, the first ETF is a small one, so it's called EBIT, and you can already find it on TradingView, and it has $1.27 million assets under management. But the bigger fund here is from Purpose Investments. It's already exchanged. You can buy it on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and it already has $421 million assets under management, or Bitcoin under management. And this went to 400 million in just a matter of few days when it was trading. So some analysts are saying that the total value in the ETFs can even reach $1 billion by Friday this week. So if that happens, that's pretty good, because both of these ETFs actually finalize and are backed by real Bitcoin. So if people buy this ETF, the ETF has to buy Bitcoin from the market to supply that in their holdings. So that's pretty good for the price of Bitcoin as well. Next, let's talk about the Binance Smart Chain and why I think it could already be close to its exponential growth potential. If you take a look at defipulse.com, it just measures the total value locked in the whole Ethereum ecosystem, and that is $41 or $42 billion. And you can see in the last 2 weeks, it has basically just gone sideways, this total value locked. And if you take a look at Binance Smart Chain, it is now $11 billion, basically 30% of the total value locked on Ethereum ecosystem. So it is already quite big. Maybe this can go to $20 billion, maybe it can go to $25 billion, but I think the exponential growth phase has now been reached with Binance Smart Chain. There are still definitely good opportunities out there, especially that now that projects are converting into Binance Smart Chain, but the exponential phase for this has pretty much been reached. So it may be a good idea to take some profits out of Binance Smart Chain and look for other opportunities out there. I actually, just as a side note, I bought quite a bit of Cell token today. So I bought it at $5.4 because I think the fundamentals for Cell are really good and it has not pumped yet. So for that reason, I bought more Cell for myself as well. Now let's go back to Binance Smart Chain. One of the reasons why I don't really want to buy Ethereum at this moment and why I exited Ethereum, I want to talk about that one, and then I compare that to Binance Smart Chain, is that if you take a look at the unique addresses chart on Ethereum, you can see that it is pretty linear. So currently we have about 140 million addresses on Ethereum, and it took about almost 2 years to double from 70 million addresses. Almost 2 years to double, but in 2017, it was going on a parabolic chart here. So on 2017, Ethereum adoption rate was much, much higher than it is currently. But if you take a look at Binance Smart Chain unique addresses, you can see that this is going parabolic. The only issue here right now is that the Binance Smart Chain or BSC scan had an API issue. So in the last 5 days, we don't have complete data. So I don't really know where this has gone in the last 5 days, because now it shows that on Saturday, there were 0 new addresses added on Binance Smart Chain, and on Sunday there were 0 new addresses added on Binance Smart Chain. So I don't think this is true in any way. This just cannot be real, that nobody added a new address on Binance Smart Chain. So there's some issue here, so we don't have complete data, but it could be very well true already that this growth rate has been starting to slow down. And I would expect that, because if we take a look at the daily transactions, you can see on 2017, Ethereum transaction count was on a parabolic curve, and now we're on a linear curve here as well from 2020 to 2021 as well. And now we're hitting basically the maximum capacity of Ethereum network, and the transaction fees are super high already. So Ethereum is already at a peak, but if we take a look at the Binance Smart Chain, you can see that we're still on a parabolic chart. But the last 2 days, we are actually going down on the daily transaction count. So this is not really looking great. If this trend continues to the downside, it is not good. Hopefully it can turn and we will see another leg upwards here. Maybe the total value locked in Binance Smart Chain can go to about $20 billion. I think it can, because there are definitely a lot of undervalued coins in the Binance Smart Chain. But just out of all honesty, I think there are other opportunities to look for as well. Maybe take some profits out back into Bitcoin, especially now that Bitcoin is going down. I think that makes a lot of sense in my opinion as well. But if we talk about some of the projects that are coming still to the Binance Smart Chain, Alpha Finance, they are coming to Binance Smart Chain, and this is one opportunity. I wouldn't say Alpha Finance is a great opportunity. I definitely would not recommend it, but there's something that was quite interesting here, and that is 1inch Exchange, because 1inch Exchange retweeted basically CZ Binance's tweet of shilling Bitcoin, Binance Smart Chain, Binance Coin, and the Binance Smart Chain. So why would they retweet it? I don't really understand it. It doesn't make sense in my opinion. So maybe they are coming to Binance Smart Chain, and when maybe they want to tackle cross-chain transfers as well. If that is true and they come to Binance Smart Chain, it could be really good for the price. And I don't really see any other reason why they would be retweeting CZ Binance's tweet here. There's nothing officially said about this, and I was trying to scour their Telegram about this, but there was nothing said about this. So if you buy 1inch because of this speculation, that could be an opportunity, but if it doesn't happen, then please do not blame me. But overall, 1inch, the market cap for 1inch is $470 million, while the total value locked is $1.8 billion. So I think it could be at least a decent opportunity, especially if they come over to Binance Smart Chain, then the opportunity could be even better. So I just wanted to showcase that there could be, at least you can research this if this makes any sense, that they would be coming to Binance Smart Chain. Next, and this is the opportunity that I was talking about a long time ago, but it had a massive retracement, 40% retracement, and now we're at $8,000. And the market cap is only $114 million for auto, while the total value locked is $1.6 billion on this platform. So $114 million compared to $1.6 billion. And they are adding the auto staking, so you can have a single asset auto staking pool. They will add the auto token here on the Huobi Smart Chain, which is already quite big as well. So the total value locked on the Huobi Smart Chain, I think, is about $5 billion. If at least that was when I was last looking at it. So when the token lists on the Huobi Smart Chain, I think it will drive the price of auto up as well. And auto is not listed on the Binance exchange yet, while Binance has been listing other DeFi coins from the Binance Smart Chain. So overall, I think auto has quite a bit of potential for this price. So I think it can go 2x, 3x, or even 4x from here. Who knows? But personally, I was buying more auto at $9,400. So I bought about 1.6 auto at that price, and now it's $8,000. So I think it could be quite valuable to actually get it at this price, even though the Binance Smart Chain is not growing exponentially anymore, or at least now. So anyway, that could be an opportunity. And the final opportunity, or actually the second final opportunity, is UniDexBot. So I covered this token in the past and this UniDexBot, how you can trade on Uniswap automatically and SushiSwap. They're actually coming to Binance Smart Chain as well. So you can have this bot running on PancakeSwap, and they will have a pre-sale happening today in a few hours from now. So if you want to get into this pre-sale, you have to go to this address here. I will link it in the description, and basically participate in this ICO when it happens in a few hours. So if you want to participate in the UniDexBot pre-sale, you can do that as well. Next, Vesper.finance, and this is a platform that you can supply Ethereum or Bitcoin or USDC here, and it will generate yield on other platforms on the market, but you also get these VSP tokens as a reward. And the reason why I talk about this, even though it is running on the Ethereum network, is that they already confirmed to me that they are exploring cross-chain opportunities on XDAI and on Avalanche blockchain as well. And if you take a look at the total value locked, it is $350 million. But if you take a look at the market cap, it is $50 million. So the total value locked actually exploded in a few days to $350 million, while the price has just gone sideways. So all in all, it may be an opportunity here, but personally, I did not invest in this because I'm already invested in quite a bit of different coins on the market. So I just did not have, I did not want to go too wide on the crypto space. And this is something I saw some other people actually asking guidance to me. Is they said that they have 50 coins or 70 coins, or one person actually had 100 coins. I said you should narrow it down to like 15 maximum. So if you have too many coins, it is very hard to keep up with all the projects and all the developments. And then even if one coin actually pumps, it doesn't really affect your life or your portfolio that much if you have 100 coins. So I think it would be better to have only like 15 coins and just go with that. And whenever something pumps, then you can rebalance and so forth. So overall, Vesper.finance, it may be a good opportunity, but I am personally not invested in Vesper. So just so you know. And you can take a look at the documentation here if you want to, and the introductions and so forth. But overall, they're only on the Ethereum network right now. So you have to pay the high gas fees to actually get this token if you want to get it. Anyway, that's all I had for this week. Let me know if this was interesting. This week, definitely it looks like there may be some bearish action happening and some sideways movements. Maybe we will see a better week next week, but for this week, it's looking not that great. But these things always go in waves, so you have to be prepared for that when you invest in these kinds of things as well. Anyway, that's all I had for this week. Hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.